All right, y'all, because get in here so we can talk about this latest drama between Armon Wiggins and Funky Dineva that's surrounding Tea-Gif. I know I've been absent for a few days, y'all, but give me a break. It's been my birthday. I had to celebrate. Before we even get started, y'all make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, get down in these comments because y'all already know we're going to have to talk about it. Let's go ahead and get into it now. Y'all, this going to be real informal. I ain't take no notes, none of that. We just going to talk. Because I've been watching this drama unfold for a while now. This stuff started, if y'all don't know, back a couple of months ago. Funky Dineva exited Tea-Gif, which was a YouTube-centered show with Claudia Jordan, Al Reynolds, and Funky Dineva originally. Funky has stated several times that the reason he left didn't have anything to do with like friendships or anything. It was because he asked for more money, because I think when they first started, they were doing 2 or 3 days a week. They ended up pushing them up to 5 days a week, but they did not increase their pay. They actually lowered their pay. So Funky said, fuck it. You know, I'm going to just leave. I'm already an established YouTuber. If y'all don't know who Funky Dineva is, he's probably one of the first big name known African-American YouTubers out there that did commentary and this type of content. You know, I love him down. I've been following him for years, but I will say I have to look at him a little bit sideways after this mess has unfolded. So Funky left. They ended up replacing him with Armon'S. Let me back up for a little bit, because in the middle of Funky leaving and then replacing him with Armon'S, of course, there's all type of speculations as to why Funky left the show. He ended up doing a video and saying that a large part of the reason why he left was because of drama he was having with Claudia, right? Okay, so fast forward. They chose Armon'S. Armon'S has been on the show. Funky has then went and started doing a YouTube live every night during the week at 8 p.m., which is the same time Tea-Gif airs, and it's no secret that he definitely garners more viewers and everything than Tea-Gif does, right? So one can say he was doing it to be messy. Hell, I think he even said that he did the shit to be messy, because he knew that the bulk of the people coming there to Tea-Gif was from him. I mean, come on, let's be real. There ain't nobody checking for Al Reynolds. Wasn't nobody looking for no fucking Al Reynolds. And Claudia, a lot of people don't like Claudia. So a lot of people wasn't there for Claudia. We've been following Funky for years. He has hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube and across, you know, the Instagram platforms and stuff. And so a lot of us were coming and tuning in for him. So when he left, even though he wants us to believe that he wanted the show to continue to do good and he was rooting for Armon'S to come in and do good and take the show over, he still was being petty by doing his own show at the same time that Tea-Gif aired every night at 8 p.m. because he knew that the numbers were going to rival each other. You're going to have to choose whether or not you want to watch Tea-Gif or whether you want to watch Funky. And a lot of people, since they were there from the beginning for Funky, they would choose Funky. I mean, it's reality. That is what it is, right? Okay, months down the line, we pass up. I think Tea-Gif has been going on for about 5 or 6 months without Funky and with Armon'S. There happens to be a roast that Armon'S gave, and it centered Al Reynolds. Al got clowned. Okay, let's just say Armon'S read Al for fucking filth on air in a so-called roast. Claudia sat up there looking crazy as hell, like she didn't know what the fuck was going on. Whole time I can bet you Claudia's hands were mixed all in this shit in the background. But she sat up there and let Armon'S take the heat. And I'm going to say this. We're going to start with facts, right? One thing is to be a fact, and this is something that Funky Dineva has stated. Fact, Armon'S gave this roast and the show never came back, right? It did not ever recover from that. Al took it like a champ on air, but when he was off air, Funky happened to be recording his show, and Al called Funky on live and was like, bitch, did you see what the hell that went on the show tonight? Funky was like, Al, I'm live right now. Stop talking. One could argue is Funky that good of a friend? Because my whole thing of it is, yeah, maybe he didn't see the roast. Maybe he didn't know what was going on, which is why he answered the phone for Al in the first place while he was on live. Me personally, I just feel like anytime, you're in that kind of space and you're live and you answer a call from somebody, you know that it could be some mess. And that's what you're aiming for. You're aiming for, let me catch some content, even though I'm going to tell them, ooh, I'm live, you need to get off. That's too fucking late. They done probably already said something crazy that's going to make them look stupid by the time you telling them that you're live and trying to get them off the phone. And that's exactly what happened. Al showed his slip. He showed that he was pissed off. He's like, did you see that shit that went on? Oh my God, you need to watch that and let me know. Funky's like, listen, I'm live. You need to get off. Al finally realizes, oh, I'm live? Oh, okay, well, just watch it and call me and let me know. No, baby, it ain't no just watch it and call me and let me know. You pissed off. You just showed that you were pissed off, and it's okay because some of the stuff Armon'S said will definitely have you pissed off, right? Okay, so the roast happens. The show ends up getting canceled. So it's been speculation for months as to why the show actually got canceled. Was it due to the roast? There was also a controversial episode that aired after the roast it aired in conjunction with the roast with Lunel on there. And Lunel was bringing up some stuff that Al doesn't want talked about, which is his relationship with Star Jones. And did he come clean and tell Star that he was bisexual while they were together? Al don't ever want to talk about that kind of stuff. So Lunel brought it up. That also had the show kind of at odds. But basically wasn't a known fact is that after that roast, the show never came back. So now it's up in arms as to whose fault it is that the show got canceled. Funky Dineva, we ain't even been thinking about this for a couple of months. Funky Dineva done went and did an interview with Carlos King and basically states that he feels like Armon'S played a big role in why the show got canceled. Now, here's why I wanted to speak on this subject, because I feel like as much as I love Funky Dineva, as much as I have been following him over the years, I gotta call a thing a thing. I think what happened here is it was a lot of I don't know which word I want to use for it, right? Funky says on his own that he told Armon'S a couple of things before Armon'S got hired on full term so that he wouldn't get wrapped up in the beef. And that suggests that he knows that there is some type of beef going on between Al and Claudia. He's telling Armon'S things so that it's helping him navigate as to how he's framing it when he's talking to Carlos. But it just seemed like he could have honestly been talking a bunch of shit, and it could have put Armon'S in a position where he felt like he needed to be leery of people that he really didn't need to be leery of. I'm a firm believer that somebody needs to go in on their own clear-headedness and not with a bunch of preconceived notions about somebody or a situation, or else they can be swayed one way or another. And that might not be the experience that you had, might not be the same experience this other person is going to have. Do y'all get what I'm saying here? Funky had been on that show for about 3-4 years. Since Tea-Gif started, Funky has been doing this show. So, of course, there are going to be a lot more issues that Funky, Claudia, and Al have together than Armon'S would have coming in. So, if you're listening to Funky and he's telling you, oh, bitch, don't listen to Claudia when she say this and don't listen to this person when they say that. But that's after he's been there for years. Ain't no telling what the hell been going on the back end that he's created also for himself before he's telling you these things. That's what I mean by it's kind of dangerous when you listen to other people in regards to situations like this. I don't care even if that is his experience with the whole situation from day one. That's his experience. That's not going to be your experience, Armon'S. So I don't think you should have taken what Funky Dineva or what anybody told you at face value. And I feel like Armon'S kind of did, and it played against him in the back end. So, Funky goes on and states, that he was rooting for Armon'S. He didn't want any of this to happen. He never wanted the show to air, but he also admits that, yeah, he was being petty when he sat up and started doing his own show at 8 at the same time slot. And it's like, that's what I said earlier. You can't sit up and play both both parts of this. You can't say, oh, I wanted the show to be successful, but at the same time, I wanted to steal all their viewers because I knew I could. How does both of them work? You know, just admit the fact that when you left, you were mad and you probably went overboard in telling this man something and some things that necessarily didn't have to be told to him. You could have left a lot of that shit out and you could have let Armon go in there. Yeah, you could have. It's okay to tell him like minor ins and outs. You know, like I think it's mentioned in there that Funky said that they didn't give him health insurance. Mention shit like that to him. Not stuff where it's this person is talking shit, this person is talking shit, don't talk to this person. Oh, you got to be leery of this person because look what happened. He went in already not liking one person. It seemed like when he went in, him and Claudia were at odds. And he's saying, Armon is saying that it was you and Al that wanted him against Claudia. So he comes in already against Claudia. What happens? It ends up with a bunch of controversy, but then Al turns on him. So then him and Claudia get cool, and now him and Al are the ones at odds. Hence the roast that came later. That's what I mean by you can't dictate somebody else's experience with people from your standpoint. Just because you didn't like Claudia and you had a situation with Claudia didn't mean that Armon was going to come in and also have a situation with Claudia. I'm also not letting Armon off. I feel like, Armon, you are a grown-ass man. And at this point, you should have been around this business. You do rap beef. That's what you cover majority-wise from what I hear, because I have to admit, I do not listen to Armon regularly, but I hear that a lot of the content he covers is like female rap and rap beef and stuff like that. He's heavy on the whole Cardi and Nicki situation. So you understand how that world works as well. When it comes to if you don't like somebody and you voice that or something like that, how it can sway another person from now. You shouldn't have went in there and just took what Funky said at face value. You should have said to yourself, okay, this is a brand new work environment for me that I'm heading into. Yes, I do appreciate my friend for telling me what's up or for trying to put me what's up on game, but that's not what I'm going in believing. And according to you, you did. You went in and, you know, you believe what he said at face value, and it ended up turning on you in the long run. And that's why you shouldn't do stuff like that. There's also a part in there, Funky keeps on saying, like, you know, somebody put a battery in his back. Carlos asked him specifically, you know, why do you think Armon did the roast, or why do you think he did what he did? And Funky's like, somebody put a battery in his back. Armon, because he's live responding to the interview, he's like, really? Somebody put a battery in my back, or you put a battery in my back? And that is what further leads me to believe that Funky was the one feeding Armon a bunch of the bullshit that he took into his job with Tea-Gif. And it's really sad, honestly. It is. I feel like, you know, Armon let every side of the party play with him and get him wrapped up and get him to react in an emotional way, and it ended up getting the show taken off air. And Armon, I don't care any way that you want to flip it, smack it, rub it down. You and that roast definitely had a big part into why the show is no longer going. I know you don't really like to believe it, and no, nobody's saying that it was solely on you, because we do understand for you to have had to do a roast about Al like that, it had to be something going on the back end where Al done pissed you off enough to do a roast on him. You get me? Claudia was sitting up there like she didn't know what the hell was going on, which gives me that she also was aware that you were going to do the roast and she was okay with the roast happening or whatever. At the moment, she was cool. She really didn't make too many facial expressions like, ooh, this is shocking. Oh, my God. So it's like it's given that Claudia knew what the fuck was going on, too. So nobody's blaming it solely on you, Armon, but it is a thing. You did the roast. You made Al uncomfortable. You made the whole scenario uncomfortable between y'all three. And of course, it was going to cause some type of friction between the group. And it ended up getting the show cut down. I'm curious to think or to see what y'all think about this whole situation. Like, do y'all think that Funky was the main reason that Armon went into the show feeling a certain way? I know Funky likes to say, like he did, that he only was looking out for the best interest of Armon when he was telling him things before he went into the show. But do y'all think that could have been a contributing factor as to why Armon acted out the way that he did? He went off. He responded to live the interview with Carlos and Funky going off. So he feels strongly about the way Funky was speaking and that it's not true. And I am getting that Funky was telling Armon a bunch of petty shit and not shit that he wants us to believe. Like, you know, oh, we don't get insurance here, so make sure you look at that on the back end. Oh, parking is this way. Oh, this is this way. No, it wasn't that. It was a bunch of he said, she said shit that done ended up having this boy feel a certain way. And now he's ruined not only his job, but the job of 2 other people. Not single-handedly, but heavy-handedly. Y'all get down in these comments and let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on because y'all know y'all don't want to miss when I come back with the next one.